Welcome back to ESBR Boxing's YouTube channel. It's me, Niall, here giving a quick reaction to the huge news that Fabio Wardley is set to face Joseph Parker on October 25th at the O2 Arena in London. Yeah, really high stakes heavyweight fight for men that are on the verge of huge fights themselves. So, yeah, before we get into things, I'll be breaking that down. But before we get started, please make sure, as always, don't forget to drop a like on this video first of all. And if you're not doing so already, subscribe to our YouTube channel at ESBR Boxing and follow us on all social media. So yeah, let's get into it. Fabio Wardley, Joseph Parker, fascinating fight in the heavyweight division. I'm so excited for this one. I was delighted when I seen that this was in the works for October 25th. You have Joseph Parker. You have to just tip your hat to both men, first of all, but especially Joseph Parker. He's on the verge of a world title fight. He was mandated to fight Alexander Usyk. That fight now not happening. Of course, it's a bit up in the air what Usyk will do next now, and the extent of a supposed injury that he had. But yeah, Parker was in talks for his mandatory shot against Alexander Usyk, and he does deserve it. Out of all the heavyweights in the world, he deserves it. He really does. The run he's been on, the unbeaten run since that crushing Joe Joyce loss. He's beaten Deontay Wilder, completely neutralised Wilder, picked himself up off the floor to beat Chile Zhang, beat Martin Bakole. Of course, Martin Bakole taking that one on very short notice, in questionable shape. But Parker has been on an incredible run of form, as I said, since that Joe Joyce loss. And yeah, you wouldn't have begrudged him for taking, when knowing that the world title fight isn't happening next for him against the Kingpin Usyk, while he's waiting to kind of fight a quote unquote softer touch, while he's waiting for the world title fight to come to fruition, he needs to keep active. He has been relatively inactive since his last performance. And even then it was a quick night's work. So it's good to see him back out. But yeah, as I say, nobody really would have forgiven him for taking a softer touch, but this is not what he's going for. He's going in with arguably the most dangerous heavyweight in the world outside of the champion, Usyk. He's fighting Fabio Wardley, who's riding a huge crest of a wave himself. Fabio Wardley, absolutely murderous puncher, a dangerous puncher, coming off that stunning comeback win against Justice Uni. Where he was getting soundly outboxing that one, but he came back to that one hitter quitter against Huni to get the job done there against a very dangerous Australian opponent. And now, yeah, he's taken another huge step up against Joseph Parker. So it's just great to see. It's great to see from both men. They're not looking to take any easier fights. They're stepping up. In Parker's case, he's not resting on his laurels of being mandatory challenger for a world title. He's stepping in with the incredibly dangerous Wardley, and Wardley, is proven wants to prove that he can get in there with a world class fighter like Joseph Parker. Straight off the uni fight, and yeah, full of belief that he can get it done, that he can get the win. So yeah, it's a fascinating fight. It really is. I'm delighted that this one is going ahead in October. And yeah, just in terms of the fight itself, it's going to be absolute fireworks. It really is. You've got the raw aggression and power of Fabio Wardley, the big punching Wardley against the quick, more technical Joseph Parker. Not as heavy-handed, but undoubtedly a better boxer, quicker. But that's the case of everybody that faces Fabio Wardley is going to say the same thing. We're going to say the same thing. With his background, everybody or most people are going to have the upper hand in terms of technical skilling, and boxing kind of IQ. But you just can't ride off Fabio Wardley. I can't ride off Fabio Wardley in this one. I've done it numerous times in the past. You've got the David Adelaide fight, Fraser Clark coming back after the draw and getting it done in such emphatic fashion in the rematch against Clark, and then Justice Uni. He was getting soundly outboxed in that one. It looked like it was going to be the first loss of his career. He was on the way to a wide points loss before he absolutely dragged it out of the fire with that bone crunching power. So yeah, I just can't write him off. He's already overachieved massively considering the background that he came from, the white collar background. And I think he could do it again, to be honest with you. And this is a hard decision for me to make because I love Joseph Parker as well, but I honestly think Fabio Wardley will beat Joseph Parker. I really do. Parker, for all his, he has good qualities. I mentioned solid technically, fast, good feet, fast hands. Relatively durable, although we have seen him dropped. People kind of saying, will he be able to crack the chin of Joseph Parker? Joseph Parker's chin has been cracked before. Dillian White dropped him, Gile Zhang dropped him. He is durable, but he can be hit and he can be dropped. And Fabio Wardley's power is a problem for absolutely anybody. So in terms of the fight itself, I'm going for Joseph Parker to look comfortable early on. I think he'll outbox Wardley. He'll be ahead on the cards relatively widely heading into the second half of the fight before he gets stopped late. I'm going for a Fabio Wardley round 10 stoppage here. Fabio Wardley's going to be comfortable with being behind on the scorecards, well behind. We've seen it before. Yeah, but he just has that power to kind of pull it out of fire whenever needed, and I think he can crack the durable chin of Joseph Parker. But yeah, I think it's going to be an explosive fight while it lasts. I really do. And the winner of this fight most certainly fights for a world title next. The question being with this now being official is what's next for Alexander Usyk. He was mandated to fight Joseph Parker by the WBO. Seems to be dealing with a bit of an injury maybe, but also, we've seen people, I believe it was the WBC say that, he's earned the right to dictate who he fights next. So that'll be interesting, whether it be who knows, a Tyson Fury trilogy fight. Anthony Joshua, who knows? What's next for Usyk, or is he gonna come back against the winner of this? Because the winner of this will be the most deserving of a world heavyweight title shot. There's no doubt about it. So yeah, a lot of interesting questions. It'll be very interesting to see what Usyk does next. But yeah, this one is going to be immense. I'm delighted we're getting this in the place of a world title fight as Joseph Parker, the mandatory challenger, will take on Fabio Wardley, the former British Commonwealth heavyweight champion, the huge puncher, in a massively high stakes heavyweight affair on October 25th at the O2 Arena in London, England. So yeah, that's just my quick reaction to the huge news. Let us know what you think in the comments below. What do you make of this fight? Who do you have coming out on top? Is it a step too far for Fabio Wardley, or can Fabio Wardley upset the odds once again to defeat Joseph Parker and leave himself on the verge of greatness against Alexander Usyk? Let us know what you think. Get involved in the comments down below. And as always, don't forget, as I said at the start of this video, please drop a like on the video first of all. We'd really appreciate it. If you're not doing so already, subscribe to our YouTube channel at ESBR Boxing and follow us on all social media platforms. Always great content coming out on a regular basis. So yeah, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll speak to you soon.